So Bill Maher went after MAGA for their reaction to the attempted assassination of Trump. So let's take a listen and we'll break it down as we go here.
And finally, new rule, there's nothing on earth, not even an assassination attempt, that can't be made just a little worse by adding religion. Since the bullet that was meant for Donald Trump missed him last Saturday, Republicans have been indulging in an orgy of magical thinking, saying things like, Trump wears the armor of God. Boxing star Jake Paul tweeted about the miracle at Butler Farm Showgrounds. When you try and kill God's angels and saviors of the world, it just makes them bigger. Which sounds like something a guy who gets hit in the head for a living would say. The internet quickly filled up with images of angels and Jesus protecting Trump, like this one from Congresswoman Maria Salazar. Steve Scalise said, yesterday there were miracles, and I think the hand of God was there too. Steve was also shot, but God was having an off day.
God, and you know, there was that guy, Corey Comparatori, who got killed, and he was protecting his family at the time too. And there was one or two others who were in critical condition. And that's quite a message to send to, like, the wife of Corey, to be like, God wanted him to get murked, bro. You wanted him to get murked. But Trump he protected.
That bullet missed his ear and went into his spleen. And of course, it was inevitable that someone named Kevin would tweet this video of a flag from the rally that got twisted up in a wire and said, it looks like an angel. Look, it's an angel, and it's wearing a flag. Just like Sarah Palin used to do. My point is that Donald Trump, even if you like him, is powerful enough as a past president, a likely future president, and to be perfectly frank, a cult leader. America doesn't need a demigod.
Yeah, that's the scary thing, is that he already has, like, a cult following. You guys remember those polls. They basically said, like, his own followers would take his word over the word of their best friends, their mother, their father, their son, their daughter, religious leaders, their psychiatrist or psychologist, like anything you could think of. They say Trump's word is more than that, right? Trump's word is better than scientific studies, for example. Like, that's super fucking cultish. That is so goddamn cultish, right? And then the sense you get from all these interviews that are done on the ground at the Trump rallies is like, they don't know or care about any of the policies he did or is going to do. They just, it's all vibes. It's all vibes. And so you mix that with something like what happened with the attempted assassination where it hit his ear. And it's just a perfect brew for, like, no, he's approaching like Kim Jong-un level demigod type shit to his people. And that's fucking concerning, right? Now, I predicted a massive polling bump afterwards for him. It didn't happen. It didn't happen. So that might give some people comfort that, like, whatever the numbers are now, like, it's set. Like, it's set. That's the number that's all on Trump's nuts, and everybody else is still like, whatever happened, I still don't like him that much, right? Here we go.
From the pharaohs to Julius Caesar to Hirohito, many cultures have tried it, the earthly being who is simultaneously divine, or at least God-ish, and it never turns out well. And look, I'm not anti-religion. Oh, wait, I'm very anti-religion. That's right. I'm the guy who made the movie Religulous. Come on. And the theme of that movie was, I'm sorry, but religion is stupid and dangerous. And I don't say that in a mean way. It's true. No one thought that movie was mean-spirited. Not.
He showed some clips from it. Jump ahead.
Thank you. That's the way we need to be with religion. Not condescending, but also.
Bill, you are super fucking condescending. The most condescending man in America is like, we shouldn't be condescending. Bro, come on. It would be more honest if you said, yes, I'm condescending, but in this instance, I should be condescending. That's a defensible position. But to say, definitely don't be condescending, they should rename your show Condescension with Bill Maher. Like, of course you're fucking condescending. Your whole thing is being a smug prick.
21st century. Enough is enough with interpreting every random event as a DM from heaven.
Yeah, but look, to be fair, don't act like this was just like another random event. Like, a fucking presidential candidate almost got murked because of maybe a little bit of the wind and him turning his head at the right time. It hit his ear instead of his fucking brain. That shit is crazy. So in other words, Like, logically, I can understand that if you were ever going to take a moment to think like, oh, divine intervention or something, they're of course going to use this moment. But yeah, of course they're getting fucking out of hand with it, and they're convinced like there's no doubt this is the reality, that God was directly involved. Look, if that's God's choice, right? If God wants Trump, how good is God? I would say God's got a couple fucking screws loose if Trump is God's choice.
There's a kind of person in this world who loves to see signs in everything, never asking why. If God has something to communicate to us, he doesn't just fucking say it.
That's so true. It's always like, you got to read the tea leaves and do the equation. Look at the stars, bro, and do it. And then it's like, why doesn't God just simultaneously get on the intercom in the sky and tell everybody in the world, I am real. My actual name is Doug. I am your God, Doug. Like, what? It's always like some weird thing that's like only some freaking psycho who's got paranoid schizophrenia hears, right?
God, for God's sakes. Why show up in a flapjack or a frying pan or a Walmart receipt? And don't get me started on the dog's ass. I mean...
Funny enough, the dog's ass one looks more like Jesus than the other. Some of the others look like the first one looked like Robert Baratheon. Like, to me, this looks like Robert Baratheon in the pancakes, right? And little Game of Thrones reference for y'all.
It really does. No, just say it. What's with dropping? Okay, with the dog's ass. What's with dropping clues? You know, he makes statues cry. He makes clouds look like stuff. He puts rainbows in the sky. I mean, not anymore since the gays stole it. The people who see angels and flags are the same people who saw a cross of steel beams in the rubble of the World Trade Center. Because after he kills you, God likes to leave a calling card, like a serial killer.
Yeah, and also, thousands of people fucking died, and God's like, it's okay, I'm here. Well, where were you the day that the thousands of people died? We could have avoided the thousands of fucking people dying, right? Like, Jesus Christ.
People see signs because they want to see them. It's why stalkers think Taylor Swift is blinking "Marry Me" to them in Morse code. But it gets dangerous when the signs make someone think God is on their side. Republican Congressman Mike Collins said after the shooting, God spared Ronald Reagan for a reason, God spared Donald Trump for a reason, God doesn't miss. Really? Tell that to John Lennon, Lincoln, JFK, RFK, and Martin Luther King.
Ooh. Unironically, devastating point. Right? Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't know why he threw John Lennon in there. We could have gone without John Lennon, but like the rest of them, it's like, yeah. So what? God wanted the guy who freed the slaves to get murked? That's what God wanted? God wanted our number one moral civil rights leader to get murked? So what, was God like fucking Bull Connor? He was pro-segregation? Like what?
Who shot at Trump was cowardly, unpatriotic, selfish, vile, and weak, and he should rot in hell. But thinking that God protects your heroes, but not mine, that isn't cool either.
Yeah, and if God's choice is Trump, like what are we really doing here? Well, like, what's his number one policy idea on the legislative agenda is cutting more taxes for the rich. He did it the last time. 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%. He's saying he's going to do it this time. He wants to deregulate industry even more. He's bragging about taking money from billionaires and helping them out. It's not like Trump's running on like, we're going to eliminate medical debt and we're going to do free school lunch for all the kids. It's not like he's running on, I actually want to help the poor and the sick and the downtrodden. The Republicans are all about giving a middle finger to the poor, the sick, and the downtrodden. It's Republican governors. The Republicans tried to pass in Congress a bill to ban states from doing free school lunch. They said this is one of the top things that is on our agenda. We want to ban blue states from doing free school lunch for kids. Does that sound very Jesus-y to you? So it's, oh God. It's amazing that you could take like the magical thinking and the cult-like thinking, and it's not even married with this idea of being a decent person. Like they're saying God wants to protect Trump. So what? Trump can do the largest deportation effort in U.S. history, which is what he promises to do, so that Trump can go to war with Mexico, as he says he wants to do, declare the drug cartels as terrorist organizations, and go do airstrikes against the will of the Mexican government. Like, this is who God wants? Like, that... Like, at least if you're going to do this cultish, magical thinking, at least marry it with, like, man, we really got to end poverty. Like, we really got to fix homelessness. Be like one of the good Christians who believes in good things.
MAGA Nation, because they are religious by nature and given to magical thinking, have been trending towards demigod worship for a while now. The shirts and flags and posters depicting Trump the Redeemer, the crosses and religious imagery that were heavy in the crowd on January 6th. But Trump didn't survive the attempt on his life because of divine intervention. He survived because a virgin couldn't hit the fattest president since Taft.
Is this me actually enjoying a Bill Maher segment? This is the first time in a fucking year I've been able to actually enjoy a Bill Maher segment. Because he's been on his, I'm the enlightened centrist, okay? He's been on one of those kicks for a long time, doing the, I'm against wokeness. Have I told you how I'm against wokeness? Like, that's been his whole shtick. It's been so fucking tired. And, of course, he's been fucking tap dancing on the graves of Palestinian babies who were carpet bombed because he's a fucking asshole. It's the first time in a long time he's actually had a good segment.
And again, make no mistake, I'm glad he couldn't. But Trump is alive because he's the single luckiest motherfucker who ever lived. His whole life is a string of you gotta be fucking kidding me.
That's so true. It's so true. Okay, so remember, it was Teflon Don when he was in office. Why? Because every attempt to take him down didn't work. Think of Russiagate, for example. Think of the, like, impeachment over the Ukraine phone call. Just none of it worked. Russiagate was totally fucking misguided. It was stupid. Mueller basically was like, yeah, there's nothing vis-a-vis Russia. There was other, like, regular corruption stuff in the administration, but Russia in particular, he was not Putin's puppet. That was just total bullshit. All the attempts to impeach him, of course, they died in the Senate because Republicans had the numbers to kill it in the Senate. Lucky. Then we get to the court cases, and look, he did get clonked in the civil cases. He owes hundreds of millions of dollars, so there's a real pain there. Tax fraud, insurance fraud, business fraud, the E. Jean Carroll stuff with the defamation, etc. He got clonked on all that. But on the criminal cases, okay, so he's found guilty of the hush money payment, right? The fraud relative to that in New York, the Alvin Bragg case. But what's his punishment going to be? We don't know. It's very unlikely it's jail time, right? So kind of skirts on that one. And then more importantly, the cases that matter the most. The documents case where he's fucking caught red-handed. This is cut and dry, black and white, www.dunzo.com. He's going to skate on that. He's going to skate on that because Aileen Cannon, his hand-picked judge, he got her there. She's like, I'm throwing out the entire case. Why? Because the whole idea of a special counsel is unconstitutional. Yeah, we'll go with that. So a case that's a slam dunk just got dismissed. It might continue, but it'll be after the election if we get an answer on it, right? And if he becomes president, then that case is gone. And then you get the Jack Smith case vis-a-vis, the fake elector slates and trying to steal the election. That's postponed till after the election. And then you have the Georgia case. Apparently Fannie Willis got into a bunch of bullshit and something with her lover and picked him to be the one to try to go after Trump. And there was a big scandal around that. So that's fucking been postponed. So he really is, like, the lesson of Trump is, like, if you're a mega wealthy white guy born with a silver spoon in your mouth who inherited $400 million and built some celebrity for yourself, you can be a bull in a china shop and get away with almost anything. Like, that's the takeaway. Lucky. Just, he's right.
Just this week, the judge overseeing the case of him stealing classified documents threw the whole thing out. Of course she did. That's always the way it goes for Trump. He inherited $413 million from his dad, lost it all, and used the write-off to never pay taxes again. His only form of exercise is eating.
Golfing, come on, be fair. Be fair, Bill.
But he's somehow stronger than ever at 78. Meanwhile, Richard Simmons, dead at 76.
He's spitting.
Now he's running against an incumbent president who's a gentle breeze away from death.
True.
And then there's the guy who shot at Trump, McLovin from the movie Superbad.
Oh, come on, bro. Come on.
Look, I fervently hope that nobody ever shoots at Trump or any candidate, but if you have to have someone do it, it's kind of lucky to have it be the world's biggest loser. And it all just makes religious-minded people see Trump as something preterhuman now, when in reality, he puts his pants on one leg at a time after sex with a porn star.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, Look, I told you guys, I predicted the media was going to go softer on Trump after the assassination attempt. I think that's already borne out. He didn't get a bump in the polls, though. He did not get a bump in the polls. I thought he would get a bump in the polls. And so he's right about this cultish thinking, this magical thinking, but I really think he's hit a peak. Like, whatever the number is now is just what it is. It is what it is. You can say 30% of the country, 40% of the country, they're the true diehard Trumpers. And they're going to think what they're going to think. And it's sad, but at least that number ain't growing. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.